The Father. Okay. Jesus was a bit partial to a bit of fruit. He went to the fig tree and he found out the tree was not ripe.
Yeah.
So he got angry. That is not God. Let me finish. That is not God. Okay? All right. A Canaanite woman coming to him for assistance and him calling her a dog is not God. He would say, come, marhaba, here's the gospel, here's the message, here you go. But he pushed her away.
No,
because
finish the rest of the story. He didn't push her away. Finish the rest of the story. Finish the rest of the story before.
You finish it. You finish it.
Okay, so she was.
He praised her faith in front of all of Israel.
He praised her because she was persistent in prayer. She was showing everything he did was to teach us about how to be worshippers, how to be how to push with our faith. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Right. Even if you consider him not God, you consider him a teacher or a prophet.
Yes.
He was giving an example to people, right? But so imagine.
Which was.
To keep being persistent, to meet with me, to pray.
Okay, yeah. So if people are harsh with you, carry on being persistent.
But if I'm talking about a loving God who gave himself up on death, how would that be a
God doesn't die. This God died.
I know, it's a...
You just said he's the all-knowing, the ever-living, but yet God can die.
Because it says, but because humanity was so corrupted, it's like
humanity was always corrupted, and we still are corrupted.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. Well, no, a lot has changed.
Yeah, not for the majority of the world.
We now have a route to become holy, to be...
It was already there, sis. The route was already there.
Yeah, in God, but we were away. And so he's like, let me come and dwell inside them. That's the whole point.
But you know what I struggle with as well? Like, do you guys believe that God can be contained at any point?
Who said that God was contained?
Because
it's completely contained.
Because my soul is contained to my body.
Of course.
So that's the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
So if my soul, which is immaterial, is contained in my body.
And you're asking about Jesus as a divine human. How is the divinity
a divine human? That's a contradiction.
Because he's
contained. Was a divine human. That's actually.
He's human and insan and the ilah.
He's the Word in flesh, the God in flesh.
That's a contradiction in terms.
Let me continue. Let me continue. So he asked a very good question. I think that would help you in the containment part. How can God die? How did Jesus die on the cross? Did his divinity die? Of course not. What is death by definition of a human? His death is the separation of the soul from the body.
Yeah.
So on the cross, Jesus' soul was separated from his body. However, his divinity did not get separated from the flesh, did not get separated from his soul.
Because I think this...
And that soul, I'm sorry, let me continue. And that soul that's divine soul, it's still in contact with the divinity. They were never separated, went down to hell, broke, and the completion of the story where he saved all of them.
Yeah. So when Jesus died,
and the body,
was he separate then from the divine Jesus?
No.
It says not
no,
even
I said if you can speak about nature, there is a body, there is a soul, and I'm saying that God is divine. Jesus was divine.
Okay.
That body and soul
you have the soul.
Jesus was divine.
No problem. You have the body.
Okay.
You have the body.
And you have the soul.
And then within it you got the human soul.
Okay.
And then within it you got the divine Jesus.
No, the divinity contains all of that.
Oh, contains. Oh, it's inside of the divine.
Yes.
It's inside the divine.
Yes.
Okay. So when the body was put into the tomb,
the body was divine.
The divine Jesus was also in the tomb.
The divine nature was still combined with that body.
Was already in the tomb.
And his soul as well, that's separated from the body.
Was always there.
Was also divine, yes.
Okay. So God was died and was buried.
No, he was alive.
God died and was buried.
God, Jesus, our God, Son of God, he died and he was buried.
So
and
God died.
God died. Jesus Christ
Does
died.
that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
How?
The divinity doesn't die.
So God didn't die.
But that's not the end of the story.
Did God die or not die?
Jesus Christ on the cross, the Son of God, died the physical death.
That was in the end.
The divinity never dies.
So God didn't die.
Because
he
died
God didn't die.
But
he died the physical death.
So God died.
What's the definition of die?
Nice to meet you. Sorry. God bless you.
What's the definition of death?
Because
the separation of the soul and the body. That's death.
Okay. So the human Jesus died.
The human death, yes.
So the human Jesus died.
Human. Yeah. The physical death.
Did the divine Jesus die?
The physical death, yes. What's the physical death? I defined it as the separation of the soul from the body.
So does the divine Jesus have a body?
The divinity did not die in both the body and the soul.
So God didn't die then?
Physical death. I just said the physical death.
Wait a minute. Does the divine Jesus have a
physical
body and a soul?
The divine Jesus has a body and a soul.
And a soul?
Yes.
Did that soul die?
No. That soul was separated from the body.
Did the body die, beg your pardon? Did the body die?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
According to you, it means God, the divine, died.
According to me, it means that the soul was separated from the body, the dead body. Yeah, the body was.
So the human Jesus died.
The human Jesus combined with the divinity died.
So God.
And he was buried.
No problem. So the divine Jesus died.
Yeah, he died for us.
How did he die?
By separation of the soul from the body.
On creation.
Was there a time when the divine Jesus did not encompass the human Jesus' body?
No.
So the human Jesus' body always
Combined
existed?
where the divinity was in the tomb, yes.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying before the Son was carnated to this earth, did it also encompass the human Jesus?
No. No, the human Jesus has a start.
Okay.
In time.
Okay.
That's the point.
Does the divine Jesus have a start in time?
No.
No. Okay. Then this divine Jesus, without no start in time,
Divine word of God that
no worries, came down into this earth and encompassed
took a body.
and took Jesus' body.
No. He took a body and became Jesus Christ. He didn't come over Jesus. That's not how we say. That's not what we believe in.
Okay. Was that in the womb of Mary?
In the womb of Mary.
In the womb of
He
Mary.
was God.
Okay. Okay. So there was a body, and then he entered the body, and then he was born, and then when he
There wasn't a body and he entered the body. He was there with the body. That started
at the same time.
At the same time.
At the same time. So with the conception of Jesus the human, there was Jesus divine, and they were incorporated together. They were made together.
He was there, yes.
Yeah, together.
He took flesh.
Took flesh together. Now when Jesus died,
that divinity did not get away from the flesh.
No. So the divine Jesus didn't die then.
No. The divinity did not leave the flesh.
Never left the flesh. But the soul left the flesh.
The soul left the flesh.
I understand. So the soul left the flesh, which means the human Jesus died, but because the divine Jesus never left the flesh, it never died.
No, the divinity was still encompassed with the body. Again, you're not listening to me. Death is the separation of the soul from the body.
Yeah, that's the human Jesus.
And the human and divine Jesus is one.
No, but you said...
No, I'm talking about natures of one person.
Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
let me try to...
No, hold on. You said Jesus died because his soul left his body. Yes?
Yes.
So that's how we know Jesus died.
Yes.
The man.
Where's the divinity in the soul and the body?
Hold on. That's how we know. But then at the same time, you said the divine Jesus still encompassed the human body. Yeah?
Encompassed is just a...
What word do you want to use?
It's just the body is still in combination with the divinity.
In combination.
And the soul is still in combination with the divinity.
What I don't understand is the definition for death is the soul to leave the body.
Yes, that's the definition.
But because the divine did not leave the body, how did the divine die?
The divine did not die.
But you said the divine died.
No, I never said the divine died. The divine cannot die.
So Jesus, the divine, didn't die.
No, his soul was separated from his body, therefore that body was dead.
So
But
who
the
died?
divinity.
Only the human Jesus died, not the divine
And
Jesus.
the soul died. So the soul cannot die.
No.
The same way the soul cannot die, the divine cannot die.
I agree with you.
But the body can
I
die.
agree with you. I agree.
So you agree with me?
The divine will never die. God will never die.
Of course.
But you say God does die.
I said
So you agree with me,
that
I agree
God
with you, but you don't agree with me.
incarnated in the flesh. He died. The definition of death is the separation of the soul from the body. Was the divinity combined with the body? Yes. Was the divinity combined with the soul? Yes. And when they went back together, that was the resurrection, and
When the soul went back to the body,
that's the resurrection.
and okay, so the divine Jesus didn't die.
You keep twisting my words.
It's a simple question. Did the divine Jesus die?
Jesus is divine.
Did he die? Did the divine Jesus die?
He died.
Because he's fully human and fully man.
He's full human, full man.
Okay, so when the human Jesus died by his soul...
No, full human, full man, one person.
Okay.
So these did not get
So
separated.
but when the soul left the body,
Soul left the body, not the divinity left the body.
did the human Jesus die? Yes.
If the soul left the body, then that's death.
So the human Jesus died.
There is no human.
There has to be a
resurrection.
if there's a resurrection, there has to be a death. Yes?
Yes, there was death.
There was death.
Death is what?
No problem.
What is death?
So who died?
What is death?
For us?
Yes.
When the human body dies and the soul departs.
And that is the same death for us.
Yes, I agree. Okay, but what happened to the human Jesus?
Same thing. His soul left his body.
No, the divine Jesus, beg your pardon. The divine Jesus.
That your question is wrong. Your question is what happened to the human Jesus? There is no human Jesus and divine Jesus. There is only Jesus who's both human and divine. There's not two. They're not two. There's no human and divine.
I proved
Jesus.
to you they are two separate entities.
They're not.
Did the soul taste death?
No soul tastes death.
We all taste death. By us?
Even I.
By
My
us?
soul won't taste death. Your soul doesn't taste
all right.
Right?
Semantics. But let me clear it up for you. Did the soul depart from the body, therefore death occurred?
Yes.
So Jesus died.
Jesus died.
Did the divine, which is one? Did the divine Jesus also die?
What does that mean?
Yes or no?
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a simple question.
For you to say human Jesus or divine
Did
Jesus,
did the divine Jesus die?
whenever you use the words divine Jesus or human Jesus, you lose me because there's no such.
Who died? Jesus.
Jesus died. Which both?
Which part?
No parts.
There are parts.
What is death? You told me.
I tell you
just
why.
told me death is.
I tell you.
the soul
I'm going to
of the
make a
flesh.
statement. I'm going to make a statement.
Make a statement, please.
If you're saying the human Jesus and the divine Jesus are one, and there's no difference between them, yeah? Am I right?
You're still using human Jesus and divine Jesus. I believe in one Jesus.
Jesus encompasses the humanity and the divine.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay. And there is no difference between the humanity and the divine.
Let's continue and come back to that.
No. Let's thrash it out. Is there a difference between the divine and human?
Jesus Christ is one unique nature that didn't happen before or happened after that.
So there is a difference.
One
There is a
nature
difference, but they still
of both.
coexist in the same essence.
No problem. So there is a difference, but they coexist within the same essence.
They're one essence.
Okay. What's the
Both human
difference?
and divine.
One essence,
Yes, but what's the
but
difference?
divine and human.
One
Different
essence.
things. One essence.
So was there always a human Jesus? Always.
Since he took human form, yes, Jesus could be considered as human.
Okay. So there was a point when the human Jesus didn't exist. The essence, the human.
No. Before he was
essence.
before he took the
was always
flesh,
like
there was no human Jesus, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a difference. When you say one, truly there is a difference.
At that point, one nature of Jesus occurred where he is both human and divine. That's
Yes.
what I believe in.
But the soul departed from the body.
Of course, the soul departed from the
So
body.
there was
Yes.
death.
There was death.
Okay. There was death.
Did the soul die? Does the soul die?
Soul doesn't die.
Okay. Does the divinity die?
Soul
Divinity doesn't die.
Doesn't die. But as with us, the human Jesus died with the soul departing from the body, like with ourselves. If our souls were to depart from our bodies, we would experience death.
Yes.
So Jesus, in relation to his body and soul, experienced death.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Besides from the divine Jesus that existed before the human Jesus did.
Oh, the divine Jesus was combined with the human Jesus.
Yeah, but he existed prior, no?
Prior to, yes.
Okay, so that's another difference. And so now we've got two differences. Okay. Now, when the divine Jesus, when the soul of the human Jesus departed from the body,
Yes.
the divine, which always existed of the Son, Jesus, never died.
Never died.
Never died.
The Son, the Word of God.
Okay, so this essence of Jesus has differences. Meaning the divine always existed, the human Jesus never did.
Yes.
And then the human Jesus died, and the divine never did. And then the human Jesus was resurrected, and then back into the essence, the one essence, and then both ascended up to heaven.
You've just
Am I right? Am I right?
Yes.
That's your belief in the place of in relation to Jesus. Okay. So that essence of Jesus, they're not the same. Because we talked about.
Yeah, okay, they're not the same. Okay.
So they're not the same. Okay.
But they are one essence.
That's my next question.
One essence of two natures.
No problem.
That's it.
If they're one essence,
Yeah.
should the human Jesus not be existing with the divine Jesus from day dot?
No?
Why?
Because a human body has a beginning and an end.
It has.
Yeah.
And does God have a beginning and an end?
God doesn't have a beginning.
So
and
why
an
does
end.
Jesus have a beginning and an end?
Because Jesus took a body, took a flesh body with a beginning, with an end, with limits.
With limits.
In a body.
Yes.
I mean, physical limits in a body.
Yes.
To become like us and to come find us and to cure the corruption of humanity.
What's your name?
David.
David Idris.
Idris.
What's your name?
Nice to meet you.
Emir. Sharfin. Okay, so now we're putting limits on God.
No. I didn't say limits of his abilities.
That's what you
I said a limit of time and place. He showed himself.
I'll tell you why.
How can you,
David,
limit it? Understand God the unlimited.
I'll explain to you why, David.
And who goes to who?
I'll tell you why. The reason why, David, you were arguing there is no difference between the essence of Jesus in terms of the divine and the human is because you can't open that door.
I can't.
You can't. I'll tell you why. We've now determined that there is a difference between the human Jesus and the divine Jesus, i.e. only the divine Jesus existed, and then the human Jesus existed, and then the human Jesus died, and then the human Jesus was, and then they both ascended to heaven. Okay, right. If we now then say there is a difference between the human Jesus and the divine Jesus, which initially we were reluctant to say and do, okay, it's because that shows there is a clear separation between Jesus, i.e. there's a human and there's a divine. You say there's one essence, but as we've just demonstrated, there are two essences. Let me finish.
There are two natures. Two natures, two essences.
No.
That became one essence.
No.
Why can't you?
No. Two essences. Two essences. One human, one divine.
In one nature.
No.
That's what happens.
Two natures.
One essence.
In one nature.
Two natures and
No,
one essence.
no. Two essences and two natures.
Not two essences.
I tell you why.
That's where we stop here.
The nature of the human is that we die. And we resurrect. We will die
that's the human
and
nature.
we will resurrect.
That's the human nature.
The nature of the human Jesus is that he dies, he's going to be resurrected as we all are. We need to eat, we need to drink.
Yeah.
We don't drink for 3-4 days, we're dead. Okay, that's the nature of the human essence. That's because you conflate two things. That's the nature of the human essence. The essence of Jesus, the divine, according to your belief, okay, his nature is what? He is all-knowing. He doesn't die. He's always existed. You're conflating nature with essence.
And why? And
You're conflating nature with essence.
And why can't you imagine a God?
How can you take these two different
Two natures, yes.
The divine that you just described that doesn't die,
Yes.
okay, and is all knowing, is all powerful and everything, and then there's the human nature. Both of them.
Are you saying that God? Are you saying that God cannot combine his nature with the flesh?
When Jesus died,
Because he can't do something?
the human nature died.
So are you saying God can
is
do
all
anything?
powerful. God can do anything.
Okay, let me ask
Can't
you,
he
David.
take a flesh? I've given
How
you
do you say
your
David?
David.
How do you say David in Arabic? Dawood. You should say Dawood. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Okay, so what if we're saying that God is all powerful? Why can't
Yes.
God take a flesh in himself
All right,
and become man?
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
If God is all powerful, as you say, there's a difference between God being all powerful and whether it's befitting of Him and whether God chooses to do something or not.
Who says it's
That's the
befitting
fuck.
of God or not?
God Himself.
God himself said that this is befitting for him.
And God Himself, I say, is the contrary to what He said, the opposite.
So this is the Quran and this is the Bible.
So if God can do anything,
Yeah.
can God become shaitan? A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah.
God cannot change his nature.
A'udhu billah.
God cannot change who he is.
Oh, He can't?
No.
So God cannot become the devil?
God does not change who he is.
Can God...
Can I become...
Let me finish.
It's a rhetorical question.
Can God take on the unity and one essence with the devil as He did with Jesus the man? Can He do that?
I do not know.
Can He?
I do not know.
Will He do that?
The difference here is
Let me give you another absurdity. Can God cease to exist?
God cannot cease to exist.
So He can't do everything.
There's already two things now.
Okay, so now we're just... That's a philosophical question.
No, that I agree. can God not pick up a stone? They say, for example. I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. The way, with all due respect, Dawood.
Ask the same philosophical questions about that.
With all due respect, Dawood, we believe it's not befitting for God to become a man, to enter his creation. It's been demonstrated. The way God interacts with us human beings is a set methodology. It's a set ways. He will bring a Rasul with in most instances a kitab and give it to them, and that's it.
If you have a son, you're a father.
My son.
Yeah, your son.
Yes.
You're a father and you have a son, and you find your son in a trouble that's not befitting of your social status or whatever. Will you not go down to him to save that son, even though that might not look to others as befitting?
What do you mean by son?
A son? Your son? Your own son?
My own son. But does God have his own son?
God has us, our son. We are the children of God.
All right, okay, but I need to understand what you mean by son.
When we say son, God the Son, we don't mean physical son. We mean a person of the Trinity.
We are his children, but in adoption. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm talking about. I'm giving a very human example. I'm giving a very human example. If someone you really love, okay, and you see him in a place that's not befitting you, wouldn't you, because of your love towards him, go down to that place that's not befitting just to save him?
What place?
Not if it means that.
Whatever the place is.
It depends.
Whatever
It depends.
Realistically,
It depends.
if my son is here with me, I am part of this realm, this universe, this dunya. It's not a problem.
God now can skip realms.
Hold on. It's not a problem. But what we're talking about is God being in a different realm to where we are. Okay? It's like you trying to find out if there's like another universe.
Why is it so hard to believe that God can enter our life?
I tell you why it's hard.
He created that realm.
I tell you why it's hard.
He can come
I tell you why
into
it's hard. With those of monotheism, Tawheed, believing in one God, as you profess to believe, yes?
And we do.
Yeah. Okay. What I find hard is believing something that the ancient Greeks and the Romans did, that the ancient Iranians did, okay, with Zeus and his sons, or Roman emperor dying and then being deified, or like the ancient Egyptian pharaohs saying, "You are now God."
I know that these mythologies actually...
Dawood, that's the farq, that's the difference between us, is this. With all due respect.
So,
with all due respect, is this.
You don't have practices that were done by people before you?
Not in belief.
Not in belief?
Not in belief.
No one before the age of Islam believed in one God?
This is the difference now. The sister who was here, we talked about Adam, yes?
Yeah.
Did Adam believe in one God?
Yes.
Was he before Islam?
Yes.
That answers your question. That answers your question.
So, you're saying the same thing. In these ages, weren't a lot of things they went wrong because of the sin and because of the corruption?
Yes.
And certain, how do you call it? Ibadat. Yeah, where got changed, got twisted, and got into mythology.
Yes. And with all due respect, you're an example.
I have studied the science of mythology.
You're an example.
And I know one fact of mythology. You can either tell me I'm wrong or right.
I will tell you that
one fact.
I will tell you that. We believe there were roughly 120. 100. Thank you. No, please. Just to answer your question quickly, and you can come back in about the mythology. We believe roughly there was 124,000 prophets throughout time, from Adam to the Prophet, peace be upon him, the last prophet messenger. 124,000. And we believe there were roughly 300 messengers. Okay? 300 messengers. So yes, okay? We believe those who believed in God at their time were Muslim in the sense that they submitted to what Allah sent to them at that time. That's why we believe in Abraham and Jesus, as you know, and others, and their followers. What we believe is that when the Quran came, as it said in the Quran by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our belief, that Allah would guard it and preserve it and protect it himself. Okay? Sam, be quiet. Let me finish. Right? I got a third eye.
I know. I'm just saying, when you're done, I found the source. I was just saying,
Tabarani.
I'm really sorry, I have to go. I'm really sorry.
Okay, that was nice
Nice
speaking
to
with
meet
you. What's your name? I've seen you before, man, haven't I?
No, I just first time.
Are you sure? SubhanAllah. Okay.
So my friend, we still find the source. Okay, you're out of that. You're still on this camera for the Christian camera, yeah?
How much are you going to pay me?
Are you like your prophet? You have to pay him to...
I want you to do me a favor. I want you...
Just bring...
Yeah.
You asked me for it, and you...